Let's
rock it on. All right. Let's do it, guys.
We've got the red light on. Well, welcome everybody today. We have an amazing gift to the lady joining us by the name of Dawn Crystal, and she lives in the in Hawaiian Islands. I mean, what more could you ask for? So the reason why we are holding these seminars is because we and Dawn say yes to life. And it's to empower and trust yourself, and so that you can rise above the stumbling blocks, which Dawn is a classic example, as we will find out through her life. So we want to welcome you for joining us and taking your time to join us. And we want to invite Joy. She's here. She's here in person. Well, not quite in person, but nowadays with technology, we're all in person, aren't we? And with the energies, the way they go, we're here. So, Ray, can you tell us, when was the first, well, not the first time, one of the times that you can remember saying yes?
The first one I can remember is, as a boy, I was always travel sickness by car, boat or plane, always very sick travelling. And there came a point as a young teenager, I said, I'm not going to be ever sick again. I'm going to say yes to being able to travel without being travel sickness. And it changed the things I could do in my life. For instance, I went on for a while to be a policeman, plainclothes detective, and even flew to different countries and flew in a helicopter over Hawaii. These are things I'd have never done if I hadn't said yes to getting over travel sickness. It was a pivotal point in my life.
Mm. And you have something in common with Dawn, because she was a policewoman at one time, so seems hard to believe that you're both here doing the work that you're doing and you have that background. I mean, that's a pretty good yes and no all in one, isn't it? So would you like to tell us a little bit about Dawn?
Now, I will read this because there's quite a few particulars here that are very important that I get them correct, and I'm precise on this. Dawn Crystal is a pioneer of sound energy pain therapy. She makes pain-relieving sounds with a voice, a gift she discovered as an adult. For over 20 years, she's done this with individuals and groups worldwide. Imagine a world free of pain. Imagine if sources of pain could be fixed immediately. Imagine being pain-free, fast and easy. And this is Dawn's mission. She tunes into people and sometimes sees a blockage in the body which may need attention. Her goal is to stop pain by keeping energy flowing through the body, and her sounds provide sonic drama for blockage release just in minutes. Dawn doesn't claim to be a medical professional. Hers is alternative health, working with life force energy, what the Chinese and the acupuncturists call qi. Dawn is passionate about helping people clear emotional and physical blockages. As a result, they can manifest from their highest selves, step into their full potential, and lead their lives and businesses in ways that align effectively with their soul's purpose. Dawn has a pure, divine gift of sound through her voice, connecting all to the light that resides in all of us. The divine transformation and healings happen in just minutes, listening to those high-frequency sounds channeled through Dawn's voice, in her recordings and her sessions. Dawn is a direct and clear channel to the source divine creator. She doesn't rely on anything outside herself, and she connects to the highest power. She is a facilitator of truth to all that seek her assistance. Dawn helps the clients to quickly release themselves from both physical and emotional pain, and she's an active mentor for entrepreneurs, CEOs, celebrities, helping everyone. In fact, Dawn's the go-to person to get out of pain fast in just minutes. The unique healing CD has been purchased by clients around the globe. It's available on both phone and Skype, as well as teleseminars. She participates regularly in global teleseminars, radio shows, podcasts. She's recently been interviewed by the Today Show, Dr. Oz, The View, and many, many more. For the past few years, Dawn has done a live bi-weekly program at Learning Strategies Corporation called Sound Healing Silent Clearings. She's become recognised internationally as a voice sound energy healer, medical intuitive, respected intuitive, life coach, soul reader, medium, pain release expert, and best-selling author. She's in fact known as the leading transformational expert incorporating ancient wisdoms for modern-day success. Dawn lives a busy but peaceful life on Maui, along with her adorable dog, Hoki. However, life hasn't always...
Yes. I love it. His name's Hoku.
I wasn't sure on that one.
That's okay. It's close enough.
Actually, we had to put our cat outside in the early hours here in Australia because she wanted to be on the screen with us. So it's lovely.
My dog is down here, but I give him treats so he's quiet.
I tried that. It didn't work.
Not with a cat.
I love it.
Well, however, life hasn't always been like this for Dawn. She picked herself up from horrible childhood in the US Midwest, weathered 2 marriages to the wrong men, became a policewoman, a business owner, then shared her possessions and moved to Hawaii. There she became a street person for a while before putting her life together with the help of her sound healing. She now transforms others who seek her help with their pain or mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual issues in only minutes. She offers a much-needed alternative to drugs for relief of pain in this age.
Busy lady. Dawn, thank
I
you.
want to say a big aloha to everybody, and thank you for inviting me here today. I'm so excited to be here with you guys on this beautiful day.
Yes.
And hopefully the weather is great where you're at in the world.
Well, we live in the hills, so
Okay.
we have a dam that we can see the lilies growing in, so we still have the water element here, which is wonderful. So Dawn, you obviously, by what Grace just told us, you've had a wide and varied background in what you've done and where you've been and things like that. So can you share with us your first conscious recollection of when you said yes, that really changed the direction of what and where you are now?
Yes, that's a great question too, Vicki. I think I've had several yes questions, but the one that really came to mind was when I was homeless on the beach. I left all my worldly possessions. I was just at the end of my second marriage, and my life was just zero love. I never was loved one day in my life from conception. My dad left my mom at a very young age, so my whole life I've been really empty. And I went through 2 marriages, but the second one, to make it short, was on the East Coast, and I was in the process of owning beauty businesses. I was not a healer, as people know me today. So I was just down and out because everybody that I was attracting in my life was just basically drug users and alcoholics. That's pretty much all I knew in my whole life, even though I was not. Okay, I was one that was stayed on the sidelines as a I would say I was a very wise child, watching my whole family kill themselves with drugs and alcohol growing up. Okay, But my second marriage, I got a very strong, I call it an intuition in my heart. When I was really down and out after my second husband had a motorcycle accident, and he was in the hospital many months, and I was basically taking care of him and running businesses, and there was no love there. So a very strong feeling came through me and I think I was in a store somewhere, and I saw a magazine that said "Go to the Sun." Now I had no idea where "Go to the Sun" was, except I said, where would I want to go? And I felt, well, I've been kind of coming back and forth to the Hawaiian Islands my whole life. So I mean, back and forth for many years. So I kind of knew that I liked it here. So I just got a very strong feeling in myself it was very strong, actually. It wasn't just a little, it was a very strong guidance system in my heart that said, give everything away you own, which was millions of dollars back then, which I thought it was crazy in some ways, but I also knew that it was in my heart saying, it was expansive saying, yes, yes, yes. So I did. I gave my ex-husband everything, took 2 bags of clothes, which were very little back then, 2 duffel sacks full of clothes, and I took $700 US dollars, which was not very much, and got a one-way ticket to the Hawaiian Islands. When I got here, I was on another island. I'm on Maui right now, but I was on another island, and is where I really realized when I got here, it's expensive. I'm not going to make it on $700. Okay, so I ended up getting a rent-a-wreck car, which is a 10-year-old rent-a-wreck, which is a car that is not new, and I was able to pretty much pay for that car every week with just a little bit of. I brought a little bag of jewelry with me, which was I was able to pawn the money from the jewelry and actually keep my rent-a-car going, which I lived out of that car for a half a year. Now, how did my sounds come to me? Is that what you want to know? Because that's really where my sounds came in my humble beginnings.
Yes.
Of being homeless and trusting in the light that's inside myself that I really know now. But back then, I was still in my ego a little bit, and I was also not trusting. But as months went on, I used to go to the beach, everybody, and I would actually sit there and try to calm myself down because I thought I was crazy for giving my life away. I lost my identity. I left my family because there was really no family in my life that I was close to. I left my husband. I left my brand new house. I left my businesses, and I left everything to follow my heart. And when I was sitting on the beach one day, I drove my car there because I wanted to basically save gas money because I only had such little money, that I would go to the beach and I would sit there on the beach, and these sounds, which I do share with the world today, and this is over 25 years ago, by the way, everybody, this is not, recent. I'm a whole different vibration right now. But I was sitting on the beach and these sounds would come through me, and it was miraculous. These sounds were actually helping me. They were here to help myself first because I needed such deep help. I was praying and I thought I was crazy. So I would sit there for hours and these sounds would just start coming through me randomly because I really surrendered. I call it surrendering into the depth of who I was. I had nobody to go to there. I didn't know anybody. I was just there. And these sounds would come through and start calming me. Now, the beautiful thing about the sounds that came through me is this is over 25 years ago, everybody. People back then were not open to anything holistic. They thought it was weird and it was woo-woo, So these people who you would not expect that were walking on the beach would actually ask to sit with me. And I had an entourage of wherever I planted myself every day to get off the street. People would be sitting with me and I would be making sounds and I was healing people. And some people would say, wow, you really just helped me. I had some pain issue in my neck. I don't know what you did, lady, but I'm going to sit with you because I feel this is something in my heart that is right here, and I never did this before. And then I would have other people sit with me, and I was helping their anxiety issues, for instance. Back then, I did not know what these sounds were, except they were very high. I call it high frequency, divine energy from source or God, whatever you believe. I feel in my heart that I've always had this. I think it was just something that needed to come out when I was at my out of my ego, because I did have one of my professions before I was a business owner. I was in law enforcement. Okay, I was a police officer, so I was very strong in my ego back then. So I really needed to kind of be. I needed my walls to be crashed down in some ways, and that's what happened on the beach. And then this went on for months. Everybody, I would just sit and find a place with safety where I would actually be able to ground myself to the earth and calm myself, because I still thought I was crazy. And sure enough, I would have an entourage of people with me, and I knew there was something there. And then, of course, as time went on, I got on my feet. I started getting little oddball, I call little odd jobs, where I worked in a spa at night, and I was actually doing some of my sound healing therapy. Back then, I was calling it sound healing therapy. And the spa would have me at night just helping clients. I didn't really touch anybody, which was beautiful. My sounds were just there, so I was not any type of liability for the spa. I would just, people would come in, and she'd kind of advertise for me on her door of her spa, this one lady who really got me on my feet, and just said, come in for sound healing therapy, get rid of your anxiety, get rid of your worries in minutes, and get rid of your pain. And actually, that's where I took off. And from sure enough, from those humble beginnings over 25 years ago, everybody, is where I got on my feet. I have a website these days. Obviously, this is a gift from the heart. So again, I'm not claiming to be a medical professional. I'm just saying I really call myself a vessel of truth. And my life has taken off. Now I'm globally known. I am also globally known by doctors all over the world. I work on them these days, and I will let you know what I do. I work on their pain. I'm really learned over the years how to fine tune my gifts, meaning I know how to use the sounds now for everybody that comes to me, either by phone or in person. And a lot of medical professionals are finding me, especially pain experts, because I've helped them personally with their pain issues with my sounds. And the nice thing about the sounds that I have, and what I do, is it's nothing invasive. It's very peaceful and very grounding. But my sounds are like, I can actually see blockage in the body of the person I'm working with, and my sounds are like the boosting the meridians, or boosting the energy out of the areas, especially in the body, or if you've had any type of injuries or any type of just blockage. I mean, I work with professional athletes all over that actually play professional sports, just getting their blockage out of their body after they've had injury or surgeries. So we can get into that in a few minutes. Yeah. So, I can help people with surgery as well.
Yeah. So when you were talking about working with the meridians and clearing, I can remember, you're doing it with your hands. So you just do it with the voice. So
my voice, yes.
Does the person have to be with you, or can you do it distantly?
Oh, yeah. Well, most of my sessions, because I do work with a worldwide clientele, are all over the world. So most of my sessions are always done by Skype. So I don't have anybody in person these days. It's either by phone or Skype.
Yes.
But I do have a multi-dimensional type of, my gifts are not just the sound. I actually have an ability to use all my senses. All my senses come alive when I'm in session with people, so I can see the blockage. I can actually do soul readings as well. I can communicate with your higher self, which we all have. I call it a soul. And that part of your being that is your higher self talks to me and tells me what you're really needing, because a lot of times our physical mind thinks it knows what it needs, and it will tell me the physical. Well, and it's fine. That's how we are wired. It knows its physical symptoms, but your higher self will come in and tell me what's really going on. And then this is where I go in and actually do my, my sessions, everybody, are only 30 minutes, okay? And I'm doing I'm doing amazing shifts and changes with people that are miraculous in 30 minutes, okay? I don't work any longer than 30 minutes. It's too long for my energy. Yeah. But I will tune in and hear your soul. I will work the energy through your body. I will actually get you grounded in your bodies, everybody, because I find a lot of people in the world are not grounded in our bodies, which we need to be to feel stable. So my sounds will also ground in your life force. I call it your life force energy, meaning your high. I call it just your personal power. I have the ability to do that, and really have everybody come back in their heart. Because I know a lot of people these days are up in their heads somewhere. We're up here somewhere because of our modern technology. We're all texting. Yep. We're not really into that the way we used to be years ago with the family and board games, playing all kinds of, family things. These days we're all just texting, so we're up here in our heads. Yes. So my sounds will help ground anybody, children, adults, whoever I work with, into your body, so you can kind of think straight. A lot of people are just more scattered. They're not really peaceful in their bodies. And one of my gifts is just to ground people's life force energy, which is your personal power, into your body, so you can feel more peaceful.
That's amazing.
It's amazing everything I do in a very short period of time.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, very much so. And you're right. I mean, technology. I'm always surprised you see people having a family meal out in a restaurant, and they're all concentrating on.
Yes.
And it's like we've lost that connection with people,
Mm-hmm.
and not just with our loved ones. We've lost it with the stranger out there as well. There's not the contact. There's not the acknowledgement. It's
Mm-hmm.
you're right. You know, we're walking. Well, we don't do it. We trip over, but you know, they're walking around playing their games. But somehow or other, they seem to be able to miss you and go, "How did that happen?" So there definitely has been a disconnect, and
Mm-hmm.
with what you're doing, and many people, of course, is basically connect. Well, I feel is connecting that person to their soul, and they're starting to
Yeah.
realize the reason why they're here. You know, as I say, or we both say, even we're in this human body having an experience. Our soul's having an experience in this human body, and if we really want to blossom with our soul and become part, that it is part of us, and we walk with our soul, and we're not separate, we have to have that connection.
Well, that's a great that you mentioned that. Actually, I say that all the time. I bring people back home to themselves. That's my word.
Yes.
When I bring my sounds through the body, and everybody, we're all from one energy or one light. So I don't care what religion, where you're from in life, because I don't really bring that into my sessions. We're all from one light, and we all have the same connection to Source or God. And my people who are, I mean, all my sessions, people always feel more peaceful in their bodies. They feel whole, like wholeness.
Yes.
And it's amazing that I have that ability, but I think that's why I went through all my hardships of my whole life. You know, as a child, I watched my whole family kill themselves from drugs and alcohol, and I was always the wise child out of 6 kids who either, I said to myself as a very young child, either I would turn into that or I would not. And I promised myself as a child, that's where I made my decision, that I would never be a drug user or an alcoholic like most of my family was.
Excuse me. We've got one of those little pop-ups on the screen.
Oh, that's okay. This is live. It's all good.
It is. And it's amazing when you talk to people who really start blossoming and acknowledging who they are and surrendering, as you have done, that when you look at your childhood, you've always been the one that was different in the family.
Yes.
And it's like
I call myself the old one.
Yeah,
the old soul.
Yeah. Well, you're the one that doesn't really fit in.
Well, thank you.
But you know what? We have a wonderful family, and that is a lot of strangers who don't fit in anywhere.
I never, from the first day of my life, ever fit in with anybody, and I never had friends growing up. But that was my gift. That was my training ground.
Yes.
Because if I had friends, I don't think I would have went on my journey and actually found myself. Now I have friends, but I really felt back then it was meant for me not to have friends, even though I lived a very sad, lonely life because I tried to fit in so much, and I was always shunned. And then let alone coming from a family that was very poor. I used to wear hand-me-downs from my older sister that were 5 sizes too big, and I had buck teeth back then as a child. I used to suck my thumb. And because I used to try to pacify myself as a child because I was left in my crib with no love. So that was my training as a child, even though it was very painful. But I know where my life is today, where I'm at today, is that it was my training. Of course, I would not want to repeat that. I don't think I will ever have to. I've learned the wisdom. But I have the wisdom but compassion to help others these days because I've been through the really low parts of life, and I was abused on top of that. I wasn't just neglected. I was abused verbally, physically by my older brothers because I had 3 older stepbrothers who actually killed themselves as well from drugs and alcohol right in front of me. That my mom was not supervising. She had her own issues. I bless my mother. She did the best she can because she had her own issues that she did the best she can with no father. But, my life was lonely, but it was also a way for me to discover who I truly am, which I know today as much as I know. I mean, I think my life is still evolving as well as everybody. I probably will find out more and more about myself as time goes on. as we're all on this I call it an accelerated spiritual fast track right now.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing times for us. This is 2019, and things are really getting accelerated and quickening.
They certainly are. We've talked about you working with people. Can you tell us about working with animals?
Oh, yeah. Well, I am a lover of animals, everybody. I actually help homeless animals. And I have a big, chunky, fat pug over here that's wanting me to pet him. His name's Hoku. And I have 5 cats, okay? But I do help homeless as well. I find that animals are like children. I'm not talking about teenagers. I'm talking about young, innocent children. That they are old. Well, ones that are still kind of like have their own identity, okay? But they're open sponges. They know when they start hearing these sounds that it doesn't even take them long to receive what they need to receive. The animals are like in minutes. I mean, I have people who come to me for sessions for themselves, and a lot of times I won't even have a full session with an animal. I'll just get the 5 or 10 minutes at the end of their session and work on the pet. And it's really interesting you asked me that, because pets usually have a tendency to take on their owner's stuff, their own personal stuff, out of unconditional love to help the owners. And I tell owners, please talk to your pets and tell them not to do that, because they are too small to handle your energy. And what happens is, it makes them sick. A lot of times animals get all kinds of issues, and I work with animals, so I know. They get blocked up in the body more than a lot of times humans do, because they're taking on all their other owners, like human stuff, their emotions and all that stuff, trying to give them a lighter load, you might say. So animals are easy. Like I said, a 10-minute session with them. Most people hire me for 30 minutes, and I got their animals already cleared. Now, the key is I clear the owner first, and then I clear the animal, because the animal the animal usually does not release the energy until I clear the owner. Okay? That is just how unconditionally loving they are. It's amazing. Yeah. So that's
So I would assume, which one should never assume anything, that you do the same with children. It's the parent you deal with before you can deal with the child.
Well, children are not the ones taking on their parents' stuff. A lot of times children, especially these days, because I work not with a whole lot of children, but I do have children come to me, their parents do, is that there are a lot of old souls being born right now in children. So, and it's just the way it is. I mean, there's a lot of they have all kinds of names for the children, indigo children or whatever they call them, but I call them just old souls. I keep my work very basic. But the children these days do come in a little different sometimes, and a lot of times they have behavioral problems because they don't know how to really work with their energy that's so different from the population. And I find that a lot of children are empaths, meaning they're sensitive. They feel the world stuff, and they don't know how to contain themselves, so they're not so affected by everything else around them. And there's adults actually becoming more sensitive as well, by the way. But I, in my sessions, teach people how to contain their energy so they're not so sensitive to the world and the chaos that's going on in our world right now, which you can admit, we have something that's been going on, but it's been chaos. And so I help the children kind of ground their energy in their bodies, and also help them contain themselves so they're not so sensitive, so they feel more peaceful, because the kids really, I mean, there's a lot of kids with ADD problems, and I'm not going to get into all the drugs and stuff, but they take stuff, their parents put them on these drugs, which they don't really need it. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
And the children, again, we're talking about texting, right? Texting on the, I live in Maui. I'm very observant of families who come here for vacations, okay? This is one of the biggest places in the world to come for vacations. People bring their kids here. The whole family are texting the whole trip. They're not even talking to each other.
Yep.
Okay? So it's just that time and age where everyone's texting, not even talking. And this is supposed to be family time.
Yeah.
So,
and people take selfies, and they're not seeing what's there. And I mean, unfortunately, some people are putting themselves at risk in taking the selfie. It's they're losing. I shouldn't be general there, but a lot of people are losing that connection to themselves, as you're saying. Yes. And would it be fair to feel into it, and the disconnection that we see, that actually it's way of protecting themselves?
I think it's unconscious.
Yeah.
I just think that they don't really know who they are yet.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
because maybe they're here like I was. I mean, I'm actually have this gift that I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but I have a miraculous gift, and my testimonials every day that come in are a true testament of my work. But I really feel that they don't know who they are yet, and they're trying to do what I did, try to fit in,
Yes.
and it doesn't always work. And then they're sensitive on top of it because they're running a different frequency in some ways than other people, like I did my whole life, and misunderstood in some ways, and it's kind of lonely for some of them too, because they don't really know why they're not feeling the same as everybody else. Okay, so my work is to really kind of I do soul readings, so I'm really here. My readings are really help people find out who they truly are. I will tell people this is what you are, this is what you used to do, and I go, believe it or not, back into our past life records, because a lot of times our past lives really help bring us clarity in where we're at in this lifetime, and I also clear if there's karmic energy from past lifetimes that's actually blocking you for really being your true happy person in this lifetime, because a lot of people have a lot of emotional issues and not really having, I would say, a horrendous or horrible childhood like I had, and they're wondering why they're feeling the way they are, depressed or whatever it is.
Yes.
And a lot of times when I'm doing my sessions, I will go back into their past lives and find out, hey, this is what happened to you. Let's go ahead and clear this so we can get you clearer right now. And this time, you're in 19 right now. You're living this past energy that's still affecting you. And they're like, wow, that feels true to me. So we do a clearing on that. Okay, I have the ability to go back in the old records,
Yes,
and clear it. I don't do it every session, but I do it as it's called for. I'm also a medium too. So I mean, if people have deceased loved ones passed over, especially in recent times, I help people heal with that, because I could bring a lot of times the deceased loved one's energy into the session and really help confirm and say things. And say things that nobody else would know,
yes,
and bring messages to help people heal.
yes, yes.
So it's pretty humbling for me too when it happens.
Okay, the red button's on. We're part 2, take 2. We'll have a director on the back of our chairs.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. You look at the screen and go, oh. So we were talking about the children. So if you just like to summarize what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's just all about, it's almost like coming back to the basics again. It's just coming back to ourselves, and we're going to always be in this computer age, and things are going to keep evolving, but it's about being more conscious about what we're doing, and, knowing that we are affected. And I think my education of just what I'm putting out and helping people know that we're so much more than this physical body, and we're an energy being, that, we are sensitive, and I think just my education alone in my sessions, and also doing my radio shows and doing work with you on these interviews are really opening up to more people to be more aware, and be aware of what they're doing and aware of their energy, so they know that they actually have, I would say, they're in control of their lives. You can make changes, and it could be very simple energy maintenance, and that's what I teach just in my sessions, or I'll talk about it on, like I said, with interviews like we're doing, or just on radio shows and telesummits. And when more people get aware of energy maintenance, they're more aware of where their mind's at and what they're doing. So it's I guess it's just part of what I'm here on Earth to do, beyond just helping people release pain.
Yes. How do you go with releasing when the pain is a physical pain, as all pain is, but it's through, say, arthritis or something like that?
Well, a lot of times, sometimes arthritis is not always from an injury or anything like that. It could be hereditary. So a lot of my work is clearing the unconscious mind and clearing family genetics and ancestral and inherited energy. That's a little bit deeper work that I do, because a lot of that is what we've taken on. We've taken on the family lineage. We've taken on our ancestors. We're all from those family too. Beyond just coming from a creator, we come in with all the baggage and everything that we've come into the family that we've signed up for before we came here, and we take that on as our own. So I, again, have the ability and have many dimensions of myself working at one time when I'm working with a person to know where I really need to go in the session to help them. And sometimes it is clearing the emotion or the mental block. And of course, at the same time, I'm working in the body to help the body heal itself as well, to bring more life force energy because, you know, I don't care how good a shape you are in. I find it with everybody that we all get blockage in our bodies. It's just the way it is. And of course, sometimes blockage in the body can be caused from all different factors, such as emotional, mental blockages to cause pain in the body. Pain in the body can be caused from somebody else. I call it low vibrations. I clear people of all kinds of low vibrations. I hate to say that, but I try to keep my energy positive, but I'm realistic in what I do. So I clear low vibration energy out of the body, which could be any entities or anything like that, or people in general, and also karmic energy. And also people who throw energy at you. I put out good energy, but, you know, not everybody is at a high vibration on this planet. So they're throwing energy out sometimes. I call it psychic attack. So, you know, I clear that as well. Again, I see everything when I'm working with somebody. I have all my energies activated. So I just know where to go with people and get people to their point of where they want to be in a very quick and fast and efficient way. And again, I usually do it in 30 minutes, and it's amazing. Now, I'm not saying that people don't need work after the 30-minute session. I mean, we're here on this earth, and we live a lifetime, and we accumulate a lot of stuff. So I do have clients that I've worked with over the years doing sessions, and we go deeper into their issues or deeper into expansion of helping people expand into their true self, I call that. And that's part of the work I do. I do intensives with people. I have a program coming out right now with an intensive program. So that's a 12-month program, okay, of me just working with people. That's necessarily, I mean, some people do come to you with health issues, health situations, and of course we work on that. But there's also people who just want to evolve and get to the, I call it the spiritual fast track, and I help them as well. So you don't have to have a major issue to work with me. I just have the frequency and the vibration. I can help people really master their lives and really find out who they truly are, and also help them get on the spiritual fast track. If that's, you know, and it's within reason, because I will always follow your higher guidance system, just to make sure that you're also experiencing the wisdom that you need to learn in this lifetime, even though sometimes wisdom does not come comfortably. And I've had that my whole life. But I can say, I'm kind of glad that I didn't have somebody come in and save me or wipe my nose as a child and say, I will help you, because I don't think I would be this, I call it spiritually wise. No. I don't think I would be in this miraculous gift that I'm awakened, that I'm sharing with people over 25 years. If I had someone come in and say, I will just help you, I will, you know, save you or whatever. And, you know, sometimes we do need to learn. And sometimes uncomfortable situations are actually a beautiful blessing that's right around the corner, simultaneously happening when there's something, you know, sometimes happening horrible in our lives. We think, why me? Why me? I'm a victim. But at the same time, there's a beautiful thing that might be blossoming that we don't even see. So I help people kind of see the good in life, and also stay in a high frequency or high vibration of gratitude.
Well, there's no mistakes.
You know?
There's no mistakes. And if you're born into a situation, and you will take it on board as that situation, you then end up where you are today. But if someone had come in to save you, that would have been probably in the plan as well, and so you wouldn't be doing what you're doing today. And there's, as we all said, there's no right nor wrong. So that's great. Now, you're rightfully excited today because your second book is being published, or it has been published. It's out for sale. Today's the launch date. Is that correct?
Yes. My first book's already out, Pain Free, Made Crystal Clear, on Amazon. But today is a launch day for my second book called Fear Free, Made Crystal Clear. My Sounds Relieve Your Fears. So it's a really wonderful book, and it talks about me helping others release their deep fears, and also stories about people I've helped. And of course, always I have some self-help tips as well. It's just a good book, and I just think it's a good read for everybody.
I love the titles, and I'm going to read them so I don't get them wrong. Pain Free, Made Crystal Clear, and Fear Free, Made Crystal Clear, and that's the one that Dawn is having released today. Fear Free, Made Crystal Clear. Well, I don't think anyone could be more crystal clear than you are.
And that's my last name.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I thought it was a great title. I think it was a great title when we came up with it. It couldn't have been any better.
Yeah, when I saw it, I went, wow. I love it.
It's got its own.
It dovetails.
Yeah, it's got its own twist.
Yep, great. Well, I know you and I could sit here and chat for ages and ages and ages, because a lot of what you've been talking about is I do myself with people, like you're talking about the past lives and how it can just change people's perception of a situation or however it goes. So lots and lots there in common. But like all good things, this has come to pass. So we have a free gift. Another free gift for you, and somebody's having a little chat with us. We had to leave our cat. Well, actually, I had to put her outside because she would take over.
I had to shut the door because my dog was barking. Sorry.
He just wanted to let everybody know as well that Dawn has a free gift for us. A MP3, I believe, of Discover Sound Healing. So you can click the button below and access this gift that she's very, very generously given, and be able to experience some of what she's been talking about. Sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes, very, very, very exciting.
I wanted to mention something about the gift that's really.
Yes.
I've had many people send testimonials, but that Discover Sound Healing meditation has actually been, I've received a lot of testimonials of people who have had sleep issues or chronic anxiety really get help from listening to that with their headphones or earbuds. So I highly recommend anything you get from me, and if you've got good ears, just please listen to any of my recordings with headphones or earbuds. You'll get the most benefit out of it, okay?
Yes. You do. I think with anything, if you can get it on that level, it is a lot better. So would you like to elaborate on this free gift that you're giving?
Yeah, just it's sold on my website for $20. It's an MP3 of my meditation, and I just bring you back into your wholeness. And I do it with sound through my voice, and it's just a little bit of a guided meditation. But as I just mentioned, it can help people. It can help. I'm not claiming, but I'm just saying it can help you with if you have anxiety issues and also sleep issues. I've had people send testimonials on that, including it's helped children, and they've actually had a person who used the recording and looped it in the background is really light sound for their animals, and it helped animals with anxiety issues as well. So it's just my gift today, and I'm glad that I was able to bring it here with you guys. It's really wonderful with you and Ray. It's really my pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm sure that lots of people will hit onto it. So we'd like to thank you for tuning in and spending your valuable time with us. I know that you would have got a lot out of what Dawn's been explaining, and understanding that this is a lady who said yes, not knowing why she was saying yes. She knows she was nudged to say yes, and where it led her and to where she is today. And I think I can say on behalf of Dawn, there is no way she would have ever go back to that moment before she said yes. So Dawn, thank you very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. For all our little, we had some little technical glitches, but we'll sort them out. If we don't, somebody too. So thank you, Dawn. Greatly, greatly appreciated. And
thank you.
Your early morning, our early morning in Australia here. So we've got hot weather coming up and watering to do and things like that. So we wish you well. And I know we'll talk again. Thank you. And to you, the viewer.
Much aloha. Thank you.
Oh, yes. We've got more exciting people to chat with, so please join us tomorrow. Look forward to it. Bye.